We'll call the February 24, 2026 special County Commission Board meeting to order. All stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I'll say a prayer. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful day you gave to us. Thank you for a country that where we're free to have meetings like this. Pray that you'll be with this meeting tonight. All act civilly, and that we will conduct business as we should. Thank you for all this. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay. Item 1 is to approve the agenda. Do we have any additions or deletions? I'm sorry.
I believe that you guys wanted to add the discussion of a burn ban to the agenda.
Okay. What do you want to?
All the surrounding counties, when we get into a dry spell like this, put in a burn ban in effect, and I feel that would be important to the conditions that we've got right now and alleviate some accident from happening going forward. Someone burning something they should and then thought it was out, and then 3 or 4 days later it takes off.
Okay, so that's the motion to add to the agenda.
Yeah.
Do we have a second?
Second.
So we have a motion by Commissioner Lauterbach, a second by Commissioner Vasquez to add consideration of a burn ban to the agenda. All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes 5-0. So now do we have a motion to approve the amended agenda?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Stanton and a second by Commissioner Lauterbach to approve the amended agenda. All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes 5-0. Okay. So, April, yes. You're up on item 2. Appointment of the interim fire chief, emergency management director, an action regarding fire chief vacancy and emergency management director.
Good evening, Commissioners. Upon the resignation of Fire Chief Barkley yesterday morning, I scheduled time to go visit with the staff that was on hand at the fire station yesterday, just to get a feel for how they were all dealing with the news, basically, of the resignation and what they saw going in the future, what their thoughts were on an interim chief, and how we moved forward. They asked me if they would be allowed to have discussions amongst themselves yesterday, because they were all just trying to wrap their heads around everything. And then Brady Steckel and John Steckel came to visit with me this morning at 9 a.m. It is the wishes of the staff at this time that John Steckel would remain in his position as deputy chief, and Brady Steckel is interested in the interim chief, and that is the wishes of the current staff, is that the commission would consider putting Brady in as the interim chief and letting Deputy Steckel remain as deputy chief. I also think in visiting with them, it's the wishes that as we go into this, they are not in favor of keeping emergency management in fire. They said it's just too much to do with the amount of staff that they have and needing to be focused on firefighting to be able to keep up with emergency management detail. And it's going to mean the training of new staff. Rosa Conley, your emergency management coordinator, also resigned her position. Her last day will also be March 6th. And so their wishes are, I don't know if John's not here this evening, right? So John's not here this evening. He said he's not opposed to helping. He's been a part of emergency management, but it is the wishes of the fire department that emergency management not remain under the fire department. And so we will need to have discussions about that. I did have a couple with Brady and John today, and they have some sources that they feel would be good to reach out to see if they would be willing to come in on an interim basis. One of the gentlemen has actually done a lot of the training that a lot of us have taken. Don Button, he is retired now. They were going to see, you know, if maybe he would be willing to come in on a short-term basis until we can figure out what we're doing on a full-time basis. And then they also gave me the names of some other emergency managements in the surrounding areas that could possibly come in and provide some assistance till we get up and running fully and determine what we're going to do with that department. Any other questions of me? Brady is here tonight if you do have some questions of him as well.
Anybody have any questions, comments?
Yeah, I do. So, they said to move emergency management. Is that correct? Back out. So it was somewhere else before, right? So, how did it work before, and
And I'm sorry.
when
do
did
you
it
want me to-
change? It's okay.
For many years, emergency management, that position was held by our assistant fire chief. And then also John Steckel at the time also assisted with that, but he was a part of the fire department then as well. And then, and I apologize, I don't recall the exact year, but we moved emergency management out to where it was its own department. It was a separate department. And Greg Standard was your emergency manager for years, and then he retired a little over, trying to remember when he retired.
It was
Those-
June-ish, wasn't it? Yeah. Somewhere
Yes.
mid-year last year.
So it has been combined with fire before, but you also had a bigger emergency management at that time. So you had Greg, who was also the assistant fire chief, but you also had the help of John Steckel. And then we had a full-time, what they called a planner. Corinne McCune used to be in that position. So we had a little bit of different staffing going on then, and then it became its own department. And then just recently, upon the resignation or the retirement of Greg Standard, and then the full-time emergency management that we had hired did not work out. And so that was when we moved it back under the fire department. And we've tried it like that since September, and it is the wishes
That it be
that it
back
be
to where-
moved back out of fire.
Brady Steckel, Seward County Fire District. I think pertaining to the emergency management, I think a big deal for myself and the deputy chief and the staff is that I don't want to stretch people too thin. And definitely in disaster events, when we have boots on the ground, I think it better served for the community if there's someone else in that role that can fill those needs, because kind of doesn't, especially with the resignation of Barkley, that if he was doing part of that, like now we don't have that position in place for him to fill those needs. So it's like my firefighters need to be fighting fire and not worried about emergency management, and our operations guy needs to be doing operations. So it's just, I think the community's better served that someone who wants to do that role can fulfill that need and better serve the community doing that instead of us doing it as an afterthought.
Do you guys have any other questions for Brady while he's up here?
Are we gonna have like a debrief of the of the situation that happened? And
Yeah, I definitely think we should have a debrief and kind of see from all viewpoints what happened. And, you know, we've already had some talks with April and Brock and things that they've seen. And I think communication would be a big thing that could help out in the future, and pre-planning for some things to this fall in place more naturally. And I guess even for all of you to see like what we're dealing with, and just so you guys are in the know. Right now we're kind of recouping from the last couple of weeks and getting 3 trucks back in service this week. So I definitely think it needs to happen sooner than later, so we can be prepared for this upcoming fire season, so we don't hopefully have a major event like we did.
Brady, before you leave, one thing that a lot of people have been reaching out to me, the community would like to have, whether you call it a town hall or whatnot, and just kind of, that plan you're talking about, implement it, you know, to where people kind of have an idea what's going on.
Yeah. And for a couple of years now, I've been wanting to even for tankers coming in, for farmers with discs, where we can be more coordinated of, like, if it's fire lines, like, hey, we want a fire line here. This works, this doesn't work, this is safe, this isn't safe, where as a community we can shut these things down a little better. And when we have in this region have 7 fires going on, that when help's not coming, that we can utilize the resources we have. Guys?
We did talk today that we would like to do a debriefing sooner rather than later, while things are still fresh on everybody's minds. We've asked people to take notes. We've all been kind of keeping our own notes. Like he said, we've had some discussions yesterday and this morning about things that we recognize right away, communication wise, that could have been better. But we would like to set something up sooner rather than later, while it's fresh on everybody's mind, and we know the changes that we can make and be prepared.
should we try and set something up?
We have a meeting Monday, right?
We do, and if that's something that you want to try to do beforehand in your work sessions that you do at 4:30, how much time do you think we would need to do a proper debriefing?
I don't know, at least an hour, if not more.
So you think an hour is sufficient? Hour and a half?
I think we'd be pushing it with an hour, probably.
So if we meet at 4:00, that'd give us an hour and almost an hour and a half time.
I think that would be good, and really if it lasts too much longer than that, then everyone's just gonna be out of it. So,
well, if we get done early like last time, we could have pizza waiting for our meeting. So we're not objective. We don't object to that either. Is that good where everyone is 4:00 next Monday? Okay.
Good for everybody.
And so now we need to, this is new. Do we need to take action?
I would ask that you take action for the interim chief, and really it just needs to be an interim chief.
Right.
I do not have a good recommendation for you right now for an interim emergency management. Right. I need to give that more thought, and those conversations that I had with Brady and John this morning. So
they're not going to drop us cold. You're going to
follow
us. You're going to follow us through for a little bit just to get us through this, right?
well, some of that need to talk to the deputy chief, because I've had no involvement with emergency management. So
okay. I bet we can make it work.
And
so
my plan
we'll
is
do
to
what we
reach
can.
out to the contacts that they gave me today to see if they could come in and help us. And to wrap things up too, with both Chief Barkley and Rosa leaving, they're both leaving on March 6th. There's a lot of paperwork that's got to be entered into the systems and things wrapped up. And so we're going to have to make sure that we have a good plan on that as well.
Okay, so do I have a motion to appoint Braden Steckel as the interim fire chief?
I will make a motion that we appoint Brady Steckel as the interim fire chief.
Second.
Second.
Sorry, which one?
Second.
Okay, I wasn't looking that way. So. Have a motion by Commissioner Stanton and a second by Commissioner Vasquez to appoint Braden Steckel as the interim county fire chief. Any further questions, comments? All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes 5-0. Okay. Executive session. Do we need one? It's on here.
We put it on there because I wasn't sure if you wanted to have an executive session or not, and so it was placed on the agenda.
Is there any? We do need to talk. Sorry, I didn't get an item for the burn ban. I didn't assign a number, so. Item 3B, discussion for burn ban. So Brady, you're the new guy. So now you got to lead us through this.
I will say, in recent history, a lot of our fires have come from burns the previous day, like when the wind's all calm before the cold front comes in and then kicks up embers. And some of these recent fires this last week, I think that's the talks of how some of them started. So I'm not opposed to a burn ban in a certain time frame of the year. I will say right now we issue out burn permits and we just follow the state fire marshal's guidelines that the wind has to be under 15 miles an hour and all those rules. Doesn't mean people follow them. So in fire season, not opposed to just a burn ban that then it gets publicized a little more where people know they need to be a little more careful.
How long would you put it in force for?
Historically, March has been our worst month of the year. It's sometimes it hits a little earlier, like this year.
If we made it from whatever the soonest effective
Yeah.
date we can to March 31st.
I would go longer until we've got moisture.
Yeah.
Can it be something that as you deem comes and goes? If we have a foot of snow on the ground through March, then what's?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if we need a set date or can it be
Yeah.
your-
Usually what happens for us is it's dry and windy until the rain hits and then we get flooded and then it's like fire season's over now.
So do we put 2 weeks or 3 weeks and then come back every meeting and either
Like
I
adjust
think,
it at
yeah.
each meeting. I mean, that gives you 2 weeks at a
Yeah.
time.
You could,
we could do 3 weeks. Sometimes we have 3 weeks between a meeting. So
you could do that now and put it through March 31st, or put it through your first meeting in April to readdress it.
yeah,
That first meeting in April.
we could do that each time.
And like next winter, if it gets dry in December, start it then,
So the first meeting would be the March 2nd. Pretty sure is what I.
Well, we have a meeting Monday, March 2nd. We can put a burn ban in place based on if you make the motion today, we can start.
Yeah, that's what I
this
was.
tomorrow.
So can we get is that everybody's good?
Yeah, Brady, how do you enforce it? Is there any teeth in it? I mean, you just tell them not to do it, or if they get
There's-
caught burning, or is there any penalty?
There's a county resolution. I don't recall the number, but it basically puts the fire district where we can issue a citation and they can be fined up to $500. I think that needs readdressed. We aren't necessarily equipped to be writing tickets to people.
Can you use the sheriff deputies to, you know,
I think how stuff's written, they can't necessarily write them a ticket. So I need to go talk to them to see what we can do to have their expertise included.
I would imagine their liability would be an issue if they start a fire during the burn ban for insurance purposes as well.
like any
Yeah.
kind of burning your trash. I mean, no fires, period.
And that's
Well, I mean,
No.
realistically,
Right. No, I understand. That's
we've had repeat offenders, and there's been a time we tried to have someone fined, and I don't know if it really played out like we wanted it to. So that is something that probably needs addressed. That if we're going to do this, then
yeah. If it's no good unless there's teeth in it.
yeah.
Well, if we can do it as is till March 2nd, and then that'll give you time to look at that resolution.
Well, April. Or you're
We were going to come back
you're going to readdress it Monday.
March 2nd.
That's Monday.
Yeah.
Oh, it is Monday. You're right. It's in the month. Holy cow.
You meant the first meeting in April, didn't you?
April 6th would be your first meeting in April.
Okay.
And then in the meantime,
So burn ban as it's written, will run from March 2nd to the April first meeting in April, and then we can we'll have time to reevaluate it.
Be April 6th.
Or look at it, and if you
Yeah.
need it addressed Monday, we can redo it however you need it to do.
And I'm good with people burning stuff and cleaning up their properties. I don't think this is the right season to do it.
No,
Yeah.
not at all. Because
So
I mean,
Okay. So are we good with that then?
yeah.
Okay. February kind of slipped by me.
and tomorrow at noon is our deadline for the agenda item, so we'll try to get resolution information on the agenda for you on Monday.
So we can enact the burn ban then. Okay. Good with that?
no, that's,
Okay. Okay. That's it. Have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Stanton, a second by Commissioner Metland to adjourn. All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes 5-0. Thank you.